James Alexander, George Allen, Jesse Allen, Nathaniel Allen, Sergeant Israel Allen, Josiah Arnold, Colonel Milton Arthur, William Babcock, Isaac Bacon, George Baird, Corporal Joseph Baird, Robert Baird, William Baird, Isaac Barter, Jared Barter.
Sergeant Davis Barson, Colonel Talcott Bates, Nathaniel Batterson, John Beatty, Van Begun, Ithmar Bellows, Sergeant George Bentley, David Bishop, James Bishop, Drummer Joseph Bishop, Corporal Jotham Blakely, John Fountain, Thomas Bowden, John Fowler, George Ford.
James Bradley, Plato Brewster, Herman Bronson, Holland Brown, John Brown, John Brown, Owen Brown, Sumner Brown, Alden Buckley, Samuel Ewing, John Bunnell, William Bunnell, William Vernon, Henry Butler, John Campbell, Colonel Israel Cannon.
Sergeant Peter Carroll, Don Carruthers, Nathan Carpenter, Thomas Carter, William Carter, Benjamin Caskey, Amos Chamberlain, Jacob Chamberlain, Joseph Chamberlain, Luther Chamberlain, Ashbel Chapman, John Chapman, Sergeant Nathaniel Chapman, Titus Chapman Jr., Corporal Charles Chittenden.
Calvin Church, Captain Louis Clark, Mark Clark, Quintus Clark Jr., Captain Zechariah Clark, Quartermaster Sergeant John William Cogswell Sr., Chester Cole, Joseph Cole, William Fuller, William Conrad, William Conrad Sr., George Cook, Dave Coolidge, John Carter.
William Craig, Oliver Perkins, Agent Fred Chandler, Richard Troy, Captain Timothy Calder, Anthony Daly, John Daly, Henry Daly, Teamster William Dale, Jacob Danner, Colonel George Darrow, Clerk Joseph Darrow, Chancey David, Leverett Davis, and Abraham DeHaven. John Brown DeHaven, John Delamater, Daniel Diaz, Joseph Dilworth, John Dixon, Colonel Seaweed Dodge, William Dowds, Nathan Drake, Asa Draper, Levi Dresser, Thomas Dunbar, George Dunkel, Malcolm Dunn, John Durree, Elijah Ellsworth.
John Ellsworth, Louis Evans, William Fairbanks, Abraham Fowler, Luther Farrington, Captain John Fairweather, Corporal Drake Fellows, Asa Fields, Aaron Flanders, Samuel Flanders, Jacob Force, David Foreman, Lieutenant Hardin Foster, William Foster, Stephen Frazee.
John Freeman, John Galloway, Robert Galloway, Nathaniel Gable, Sergeant Jonathan Gaylord Jr., Stuart Gable, Piper Thomas Gable, Captain Gordon Peter, Joseph Gonder Jr., Stephen Goulden, Lyman Green, Samuel Green.
David Griffin, Samuel Griffin, Piper Levi Griswold Jr., Levi Griswold Sr., John Rupp, David Hall, John Hall, Jason Hammond, Nathaniel Hammond, Seth Anchett, William Hardesty, Job Harrington, John Hart, Colonel John C. Hart, Major Rufus Hart,
Jacob Carter, Oscar Harvey, Joseph Hawkins, John Hayes, Samuel Hayes, Captain Horace Harris, Jonathan Hessa, Gideon Hewitt, Lieutenant George W. Holcomb, Corporal Timothy Holcomb, Nathaniel Hoover, Jacob Hauser, David Hudson, Milo Hudson, Samuel Caleb Hudson.
Captain William Hudson, William Hutchinson, John Jacobs, John Jack, Thomas Johnson Esquire, Bruce Jones, Francis Kelsey, Andrew Kepler, Colonel Hiram King, Joshua King, John Kirby, Isaac Lacey Jr., William Lamson, George Woolley, Captain David Lee.
Scout Abiah Lindley, Ichabod Lindley, Jesse Lindley, David Long, John Love, Shubal Lowry, Amos Lusk, John Lyon, George Marsh, James Martin, Teamster Elijah Mason, Dr. Ebenezer Mather, Andrew May, Captain Riles, and Nick Arthur.
William McBride, William McClellan, Samuel McCoy, Seth Meekum, George Mellett, Abijah Merrill, Horace Metcalf, Surgeon's Mate Jonathan Metcalf, David Miller, John Miller, Morris Miller, Moses Miller Jr., James Mills, John Mills, Dr. Oliver Mills.
Ronald Moore, Sergeant Robert Morris, Charles Lane, Drummer Hiram Lane, Milton Lane, Captain William Lane, William Nesbitt, Captain William Nesbitt Sr., Benjamin Noble, William Nolan, Aaron Norton, Quartermaster Benjamin Osborne,
Frank's flag right through
Ezra
Sharon, or are you to
Osborne,
the side of
Benjamin
Sharon?
Obiet,
The one in the
Obiet.
striped dress. Black and white.
Wow, it's right. Well, she's
Move it either over this way or this way a little, Frank.
Thomas Owen,
right there.
There.
Abram Osmond, Sergeant
Yeah, that's
Isaac Osmond,
Just a touch over this way, I think.
Stephen Palmer,
No, it's probably not.
George Harrison, William
Oh,
Payne,
that doesn't matter.
Ebenezer Keith, George File, Henry File,
Got it.
Gabriel Porter,
Georgia.
Simeon Porter,
Florida, yeah.
Corporal Henry Post, Zena Post, Charles Powers,
John Powers, David Preston Jr., Jared Preston, John Preston, Lot Preston Jared Pritchard, Samuel Prickett, Corporal William Pryor, Sergeant Comfort Rainey, Jacob Rainey, James Rattle, Corporal Elias Reed, Joseph Reynolds, George Rhodes, Lewis Rice, Assistant Surgeon William Rice.
Robert Richards, Daniel Richardson, Captain George Richardson, Sergeant Thomas Ritchie, Samuel Robbins, Edward Robinson, Major James Robinson, Robert Robinson, Ezekiel Rogers, Constant Rogers, William Rowland, John Root, James Ross, Ambrose Roswell, Corporal John Rowe.
Clark Sackett, Edward Sackett, Norman Sackett, Captain Amos Seward, Abraham Shaw, Walter Shelhorn, George Sherbundy, Timothy Sherwood, Jacob Shook, Henry Schumann, Aaron Smith, Sergeant Elijah Smith, Henry Smith, James Smith, John Smith.
Robert Smith, Elijah Sorter, Henry Sauer, Harvey Spafford, Amos Spicer, Major Minor Spicer, John Spindle, James Stanford, Drum Major Josiah Starr, Alexander Steele, Isaac Steele, John Stewart, Robert Stimson, Sergeant Nathaniel Stone, Teamster William Stowe.
Corporal Edmund Strong, John Stump, Henry Swartz, Peter Cypher, Joel Thayer, Abel Thompson, Abraham Thompson, Hezron Thompson, James Thompson, Miles Thompson, Dr. Moses Thompson, Orson Thompson, John Thornton, Jeremiah Thorpe, William Triplett.
Simeon Tupper, Jonah Turner, Samuel Turner, Samuel Tuthill, Horatio Upson, John Upson, Reuben Upson, Stephen Upson, Homer Vale, James Vile, Dorsey Beers, George Wagner, Corporal Henry Warner, Peter Warner, John Weaver.
Peter Weeks, George Welker, Stephen Welton, William West, Aaron Weston, John Westfall, Josiah Wetmore, Commissary William Wetmore, Captain Aber Wilcox, Colonel Henry Wilcox, Isaac Wilcox, John Willard, Barnabas Williams, William Williams, musician Henry Wilson.
John Wilson, Jonathan Wilson, Alfred Wolcott, Corporal George Wolfe, Piper Henry Wood, Corporal William Wood, Corporal Charles Woodruff, Gordon Woodruff, Ichabod Woodruff, Sergeant Alpha Wright, Dr. Amos Wright, Captain John Wright, Thomas Wright, William Wright, Christian Yerrick, Samuel Young.
Silent prayer for all of the country's veterans, living and dead, please. Thank you. Now we will do